Hello everyone. As everyone knows, we are dealing with hemolytic disorders. So today's topic is polycythemia. So here the word poly means many, cyte means cells and hemia means blood. So that means many cells in the blood. So this is your topic. We'll see the introduction. Polycythemia is a disorder that results in too many red blood cells. For instance, we see that the prefix poly means many, the word cyte refers to cells, and the suffix emia refers to in the blood. So, polycythemia is literally many cells in the blood. So, I have already told you that polycythemia is a blood disorder. So, in this, the red blood cells are so many in the blood, that is, there are too many RBCs formation in the blood that is causing polycythemia. Let's see the definition. Polycythemia or erythrocytosis refers to an increase in the number in the RBC mass, usually with a corresponding increase in hemoglobin level. The increase in red blood cells can be absolute or relative. So, the definition says that polycythemia or erythrocytosis, that means polycythemia is also known as erythrocytosis, that is increase in the number of RBC mass in the hemoglobin level. So, let's see the classification. So, here the polycythemia is divided into two types, relative and absolute. Absolute is divided into primary and secondary, and again secondary is divided into appropriate and inappropriate. Let's see what is relative polycythemia. It is characterized by decreased plasma volume with a normal red cell mass. So we all know there is plasma present in the blood. So our blood has so many components, out of which plasma is the one component. So in relative polycythemia, there is decreased plasma volume, that is the volume of plasma in our blood will be decreased in relative polycythemia. They may result from dehydration following prolonged vomiting, diarrhea, or excessive use of diuretics. So how this is caused? So this is caused when we have prolonged vomiting, diarrhea, or excessive use of diuretics. So this was relative polycythemia. Then we'll see absolute polycythemia is characterized by true increase in total red cell mass and can be subclassified as primary polycythemia and secondary polycythemia. So in absolute polycythemia, there will be increase in red cell mass, that is RBCs will be increasing, red cell masses or cells will be getting increased. So in relative, there is decrease in plasma level, and in absolute there will be increase in red cell mass. Then we'll see the subtypes. The subtypes is primary polycythemia or polycythemia vera. It results from an intrinsic abnormality of the hematopoietic stem cell. Intrinsic means inner abnormality of the hematopoietic stem cell. That is, whatever the stem cells are present in our body, so there is some abnormality with those stem cells that results in primary polycythemia. Then secondary polycythemia, it results as a compensatory response of red cell progenitors to an increase in EPO secretion. So this results due to response of red cell progenitors. So when the red cell mass are increasing, so in compensatory to that, they get secondary polycythemia. We'll see the risk factors. So the risk factors for polycythemia are chronic hypoxia, that is decreased oxygen level, long-term cigarette smoking, familial and genetic predisposition, that is due to family or genetic disorders. Then living in high altitudes like hilly areas, long-term exposure to carbon monoxide, that is tunnel workers, car garage attendants, residents of highly polluted cities. So those who are working in these areas, they are also prone to have this polycythemia. Then we'll see the then we'll see the clinical features. So the clinical features are according to the increased blood volume. So when there will be increased blood volume, what we are going to see, then we will be seeing cyanosis, reddened face with engorged retinal veins, that is veins will be enlarged. Then we will be seeing the itching after bath, feeling of fullness in head and headache, weakness, fatigue and dizziness. Then tinnitus, paresthesia, numbness, burning or weakness in hands and legs, visual disturbances, nose bleeding, abdominal bloating. Then we'll see the symptoms from increased viscosity. Viscosity means when the blood will get thickened. The blood will get thickened. That time we'll be seeing angina, dyspnea, hypoxia, bone and joint pain, thrombophlebitis. Then other symptoms you can see: weight loss, breathing difficulty when lying down, chronic cough, night sweats and sleep disturbances, burning sensation over fingers or toes, splenomegaly and hepatomegaly, formation of blood clots in the blood vessels. So these are the signs and symptoms, or you can say clinical manifestations, you are going to notice in the patient. Then we'll go for the diagnosis, that is how you are going to diagnose the patient. So first will be history collection and physical examination. So in history collection and physical examination, you're going to take the thorough history of the patient, that is his family history, his living styles, and the problems he is having, from how many, what is the duration of the problem. So all that you will take in history collection. Then we'll go for the physical examination. That you will be doing head to toe examination. You will try to find out the evidences of polycythemia, like ruddy complexion, splenomegaly, cyanosis, then pulmonary artery hypertension, then raised pulmonary vascular resistance, cor pulmonale. Then we'll go for the other tests like blood test. Then you will be doing bone marrow aspiration or biopsy. Then you will be doing other diagnostic measures such as chest x-ray, electrocardiogram, echocardiogram, and SpO2 measurement, that is partial pressure of oxygen. So these are the diagnostic procedures you are going to perform for the patient to know the disease condition. Then we'll go for the treatment. So in treatment, first we'll do the phlebotomy. So in phlebotomy, we are doing, this is usually the first treatment option for most people with polycythemia vera. Phlebotomy involves drawing a certain amount of blood from one of the veins. This reduces the number of blood cells and decreases the blood volume, making it easier for the blood to function properly. How often the patient needs phlebotomy depends upon the severity of your condition. So in this, there will be little extraction of the blood from the vein that will reduce the number of cells and the blood amount, that will allow the blood to flow freely. Then we'll go for the next step, that is medication to decrease blood cell. So since there are more blood cell formation, so in this the medicines will be given so that the bone marrow should produce less cells and there will be no increase in blood cells, that will not thicken the blood. In that we are giving hydroxyurea and engrelite to suppress the bone marrow ability to produce the blood cells. Then we'll going next, that is low dose aspirin. So we'll be giving low dose aspirin to reduce the blood clots in the patient. This will not allow the formation of blood clots in the human body. Then we'll go for the next, that is therapy to reduce itching. So due to any side effects, there may be itching. So to reduce those itchings, antihistamines are given to the patient, that is S2 receptor blockers. Then in nursing diagnosis, the first nursing diagnosis will be planned according to the patient's condition, that impaired tissue perfusion related to phlebotomy as evidenced by cyanosis, then acute pain related to surgical intervention as evidenced by verbalization, then impaired breath pattern related to decreased level of RBC in blood as evidenced by dyspnea, then imbalanced nutrition less than body requirement related to less oral intake of food as evidenced by weight loss, fear and anxiety related to outcome of disease condition as evidenced by frequent doubts, knowledge deficit regarding home care management as evidenced by frequent doubts. So these are all the nursing diagnosis based on the patient's condition and according to priority. So in today's class we have seen about the polycythemia. So in polycythemia you have seen the definition, that is it is caused by due to increased number of RBC masses in the blood. Then you have seen the classification. In that classification it is of two types, relative and absolute. So in relative polycythemia there will be decreased plasma volume, whereas in absolute polycythemia there will be increased red cell mass. Then you have seen the risk factors. These are mainly caused due to genetic disorders or when the patients are exposed to carbon monoxide. And other leading factors can be hypoxia, then living in high altitudes, etc. And you have seen the clinical manifestation, that is based on increase in blood volume and increased viscosity. And then you have seen the diagnostic procedures, which is mainly including history collection, physical examination, and other blood tests. Then you have done the treatment of the patient, in that you have seen the procedure like phlebotomy, that is extraction of the blood. Then you have seen medications to decrease blood cells, then medications to stop the blood clotting of the blood. Then you have seen certain medications to reduce itching of the patients. Then we have seen the nursing diagnosis according to the priority. That's all for the today's session. Thank you to all the students.